Okay, so I've had my first soft reline, and it was a little bit of an ordeal. It took a while. They put I guess it felt like the same thing that you get when you get the molds made of your teeth before they do the extractions, or if you're getting a retainer or something and they do a mold. Only they used my actual dentures, put them in. I had to bite on it for 10 minutes, and they took them out and did some adjustment and gave them back to me, and they felt so good. And except that they didn't quite feel like they met in the right place. It was difficult to talk again. I know it was because it felt a little more bulky in my mouth, and I had to get used to that again. And then I realized that I hadn't looked in the mirror when I was in the office. I didn't talk to the doctor. I didn't get to look in the mirror. That's a new checklist item, is make sure you've seen yourself before you walk out the door when you get an adjustment. And all of my top teeth were pushed forward as though it was a mouth guard and not actual dentures or teeth. That was awkward, and it didn't look right. So I went back inside and went through that. They stripped out all of the reline they did and put a thinner, far less material in there. Did it again. It felt still good, not as good as the first one, which just felt so divine. Didn't feel as good as the first, but it felt good. And then when I would try to talk, they would slip out. I had suction on the uppers before I went in, and then having done the reline, I had them slipping. They weren't performing any kind of suction. So I've been maybe a half an hour now trying to conform them to the roof of my mouth and stick a little better as this material sets. So hopefully that'll help. If it doesn't, I'll go back in a few days and see what they can do to clear that up. Or I'll attempt to try to fix that with some adhesive, which I can use now. But the smile is good. I'm still hearing the wet. I'm still having to get used to the reline. I'll sound funny for a little while, I'm sure, until I figure out how to navigate the new architecture of my mouth. But it feels much better. I'm not feeling any rough spots right now that where previously I had been. I would take the dentures out because they were just rubbing sore spots. None of those are aggravated right now. That is a blessing. I cannot tell you. So I have 1 month until my next reline. Everything's going to shrink some more, and it'll need some holes filled in again. So at the end of the month, we'll check that and see what happens. Who knows? I may make a weekly progress report. We'll see. I'm sure some of the whistling is going to go away, and some of those other lispy noises. But that's because I'm focusing on that. Not everybody will or is or cares to. But maybe that's a thing that we'll look into, is that speech therapy for denture wearers. Anyway, so there's the update, and we'll check in the next time.